Well, hello everyone, Texie88 here and welcome to another review. And now we're taking a look at Bomb Jack 2 for the Commodore 64. Not so long ago I reviewed the Spectrum version and I wasn't that impressed with it compared to the masterpiece that Elite released in the form of the first game. The second game on that platform was left severely wanting and it didn't feel like a Bomb Jack game. And it was just more frustrating than I would have liked as well. As you can see, Elite was responsible for this one as well, so it was one of the few times you can actually play a Commodore 64 game using the keyboard. Quite often it's restricted to joystick on that platform. So as soon as you go back to that menu, I'm going to start a one-player game. Jack 1, start level 1. So I have to collect all these bags. And you probably, anyone who's a fan of classic cartoon series will realise that this music is actually the Thundercats theme. Now, when I reviewed the Spectrum version of this game, I think it was YouTuber John Gage. He actually said this was originally intended to be a Thundercats game, and presumably the license expired before the game could be released, so they had to strip out anything even remotely connected to the Thundercats pantheon. But for some reason, this music's still in it. Where am I? Oh, there I am. Cool, I'm not sure about the colours here. I couldn't even see myself initially. I still have the problem this doesn't feel like a Bomb Jack game. It really doesn't. I mean, you can't even... Oh, great, they mutated. I mean, you can't even fly in this way. You couldn't even fly in this the way that you could in the first game. No, some of these bags are a bit hard to see. The ones against the brown walls, like that one I just picked up a few moments ago. That was a bit hard to see. Yeah, I kind of. Now that's confusing because the way the level layout is orientated, it makes it look like it's coming to sort of going off into the distance as you go to the top of the screen. So it makes it look like you can actually go upwards from the far left of the screen if you're on a lower platform, but you can't. Oh great, more mutation. Oh no, I've got to get down there. Oh, that's going to be fun with this mutated son of a bitch. God, you really have to mash that fire button to use your sword. I'm presuming you would have been controlling Lionel if they'd managed to keep the Thundercats license. I mean, I'm presuming so. Who the hell are these guys? Oh, for God's sake. At least it was possible for them to be a different colour in this version. That wasn't possible on the Spectrum version due to the Spectrum's attribute limitations. God. Oh my god, I'm actually typing with a keyboard. Oh, I can't fit, I can only have 5 characters. Let's give that another whirl. I don't know how this game could possibly have the Bomb Jack name attached to it. It's clearly got sod all to do with that. I'm not absolutely sure what those meters are in the bottom left corner. Bloody hell, that was close. That guy was about to mutate. I mean, I'm presuming the meter in the top left corner is my life, because I've seen that. I've seen myself lose a life if that completely drains. God, not these things again. No. 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 Oh God, you have to be so precise with where you stand in order to get to other parts. And it's not helped by what looks like the perspective. At least the Commodore not having the same attribute limitation as Spectrum. Those purple characters on that previous screen not only didn't look exactly the same as yours, but they were a lot easier to see. Bloody hell, man! No! Oh, pissing hell! It's so hard not to accidentally go across to another platform when you're trying to take these guys out. Where do we go? I'll get up there then. Not that way. Ah, I see. You really have to absolutely mash that fire button until your thumb or finger hurts. Otherwise, you're just not going to be able to stab quickly enough to take out the enemies. But I still have the problem that this really, really, really doesn't feel like a game that should be holding the Bomb Jack name. It really doesn't. At least I know I've started at the bottom left corner this time, so. You have to line yourself up so precisely. That's one thing. I press up twice. This is slightly better than the Spectrum version, but it's still a pretty crappy game. It just... If it didn't have the Bomb Jack name attached to it, it might have been a bit more bearable, but because it does, it's... I don't think I can be bothered to play that anymore, guys. So that's Bomb Jack 2 for the Commodore 64. Nice. It doesn't have some of the same issues as the Spectrum version because it doesn't have the same attribute problems. Although there's still occasions where you can't quite see where either you or some of those bags you have to collect are because of them being the same colour as other parts of the background. But it's not so much of a problem in this version as it is in the Spectrum version. Graphics, well, they're pretty bland actually. not a huge amount of colours on screen. What is there isn't particularly exciting to look at, and the background's a bit bland as well. That is one thing that the Spectrum version does have over this. The backgrounds in that are more interesting, for better or for worse. Everything moves okay, I suppose. Sound. Well, yeah, get sound effects when you use your sword and so when you die. And of course, there's for the strange inclusion of the Thundercats theme tune. Because as I said earlier, it seems as if this game was originally envisaged as a Thundercats game. Gameplay. It doesn't feel like a Bomb Jack game, and even though it doesn't have the same problems of enemies not blending into the background or looking too much like you in the case of some of the enemies, it's still not that much fun to play, and compared to its brilliant predecessor, it just doesn't work. It's just frustrating, and in some ways even more so in this version, due to what looks like forced perspective that actually isn't on the, such as on that first stage where it looks like as you go up the screen, it seems like the levels are receding into distance, which makes it a bit harder to judge when you're in the right place to go up the screen, because you have to line yourself very accurately with the other platforms. They have to be exactly in line with where you are, otherwise you're not going to get to them. And when you've got what looks like from receding perspective, making things seem like you are in the right place when you're actually not, it's quite confusing. So I'm going to give Bomb Jack 2 for the Commodore 64 4 out of 10. Quite frankly, why you'd want to play this when the original Bomb Jack's so much better is... yeah. So, hope you enjoyed this review. Catch you on another video soon. Texie88 out.